Hi everyone, it's Lisa. I hope you're having a wonderful Thursday. I have had a pretty exciting 24 hours. I volunteer at the Humane Society yesterday. I'm on their admin page, and long story short, I ended up with an unexpected kitty. I'm set up for dogs, so it was kind of an emergency type thing. Beautiful cat, so if you know of anybody that wants one, please give us a call. So to get right down to it, some of you know that I have been working out. Let's see, get this set right here. Gotta turn the stove on first. Converting some recipes of my grandma's, and I was thumbing through it last week, and she had a cornbread with sausage recipe. Well, you know, cornbread is usually too high on our carbs list, but I have a recipe for cornbread from this book. It's called Keto Breads, Your Guide to Baking Grain-Free, Low-Carb Bread by Kelly Herring. And sure enough, she's got some cornbread on it. And it says in here that there's only 3 grams of carbohydrates in it if you make it, you know, the way she has it. So I figured it's okay, and the sausage shouldn't, you know, it's fine. So this is going to be a fun one because it's a combination of 2 recipes. It's just going to be that recipe out of that book, and it's going to be sausage. But there was something else that I wanted to talk to you about. And first of all, as you know, if you are watching live, please put live and where from. And if you are watching replay, please put replay and where from, because I like to know. And if you have a comment, please give it to me. Join me, because I'd like to see what, you know, y'all are saying. Hello, hello, good afternoon. So anyway, this is a combo recipe of one of my grandma's. I was looking through her book, and she had a cornbread sausage recipe. Hers contained onions. I decided to forego that today. Wasn't in an onion mood. And whoever's watching out there, I had lunch with somebody, a birthday lunch. So happy birthday once again, Amanda Crane, if you're watching. We had a great time. I also wanted to talk to you while we're cooking here, or while I'm cooking and you're watching, but I'm sure you'll cook later, right? I was challenged. I met a new friend today, and literally while passing out flyers for the Catfish Festival, and you know, it's been brought to my attention several times that there's a lot more of this weight management nutrition thing than one component. Part of it's diet. Keto is great for that, but I've also been using other things, and some of you have heard me talk about these other things. If you want to know what my system is, just PM me. My point is that I needed several things to go together to make this work, and I did forget one thing. Hold on. Remember how I've been talking about my driver's license picture? Well, some of you may have, I've posted it before. I'll be right back. Hang on just a second. Always gotta forget something. All right. Yep. Can y'all see that? What do you think? Do I look better now or what? Put better in the comments if you think I look better. Please. I hope I look better. Anyway, so there's that. But to get here, I had to combine exercise. I had to combine an eating program. I had to combine supplements. So, and I'm at the age where you have to address hormones and stuff to get rid of the weight loss. That belly fat is tough. Okay, so someone, I won't mention any names, but you know, they've said that they're frustrated with things because it's tough. It's not just eating. It's not just exercise. You can do that all day, especially if your body builds up a tolerance. And then it's like, okay, you need more and more and more. But sometimes you have to address the hormonal issues, the interior issues, the digestion issues. Sometimes you're not, with supplementation, sometimes your gut doesn't ingest it, or you get maybe 5 to 10% of what you're putting in because you've got something unhealthy. So you've got to work on those issues too. It all works. But if you can see from my driver's license picture, if I can do it, and I've had a lifelong issue with weight. And when I think it was before 2nd grade, but I was the fat kid when it was, you know, when there weren't a lot of fat kids in school. So it's been a long time. a really long time. And so I think I finally figured out the carbs, those things that your body doesn't need, or, where your balance is. And everybody's going to be a little different because we all have different genetics. So a lot has to be addressed here. So please, please, please. Number one, address those other issues. Understand it's a part component system. And please give me a comment too if you agree. Just, agree something in the comments. But it's that components. You have to address all of them. And yet, better yet, don't give up though, because there is hope. I mean, you saw my picture. If I can do it, you can. And my dogs have decided to get frisky. Okay. Well, let's see. I guess I need to kick this up a notch. Goodness gracious. It is being stubborn about cooking. So this is about 1 pound of sausage. Okay. I use Jimmy Dean. I use your favorite flavor and your favorite heat level too. Understand though that cornbread is a little bit sweet. So you'll probably want to pick something that doesn't conflict with that sweet. I chose, in that recipe, you could have put stevia in there. I chose to forego that today because it was being paired with sausage, but you could have, and if you do choose to put the sweet in there, you're probably going to want to pick a sausage with a heat level that will mix better with sweet. Just a thought. Okay, finally the high heat comes. So it's gotten a little warmer back here. How's everything going where you are? I was able to wear shorts today comfortably, which, the cool spell was very nice. I have to say, sometimes I envy you guys with the cool fall weather because we really don't get much. But you live with what you got, right? Okay, I like this separator, masher, whatever you call it, because it tends to break up the meat very nicely. And instead of putting this in a loaf pan, I'm going to put it in a square pan today. Cornbread is often done in a square pan. This is an 8x8. I have a cover for it if I want to put it in the freezer. I'm not sure whether I'm going to have it, because my husband normally, if he knows there's cornbread in the house, I don't think it's going to make it to the freezer, especially if it's combined with sausage. But there's a first time for everything, right? Okay. I need to get the masher back here. Okay, turn it down. Who is decorating their fall outside now? And what are you doing? I have got a project in the works that is going to involve like gingerbread characters for fall with pumpkins. Oh, I tend to like to harvest a little better than I like the other stuff. And plus you can stretch it for a little more. Kind of like when you do winter versus Christmas, you can leave the decorations out a little longer because it's winter longer than Christmas. Okay. This is going to go fairly quickly once the sausage is cooked up. If you want to add onions, go ahead. Just remember the pairing with the cornbread and how that would work. Some of you can make that work, and, feel free to be creative. Okay. Still don't see any comments. Nobody wants to talk to me. Okay. That's all right. I think I may have found a cooking buddy today in Miss Sid there. She said she wanted to watch and see what I did. And I can't imagine a chef one. I was so shocked because she is a chef. But hey, you know what? You find people in the strangest places and you pair up their talents and it works out, right? You combine your team. Been reading a lot about teams lately. And sometimes it really just does take the pairing of the right people. And you don't always, it's not always who you think. You ever notice that? Like, I don't know, surprises or whatever. But, okay. We're just about done here. So anyway, if you want to learn about the different components of weight management, please give me a PM. We can go over that in private. I don't think anybody needs to hear that on this, unless you've got a question put it up there. But, you know, best of all, don't give up. You know, I've heard people say, I've tried everything, nothing works. And I was at that point too. I just kind of accepted it for a while, especially if you've been chunky as long as I had been, you know, and fought with it as long as I had been. It's kind of easy to say, oh, never mind, it just runs in my family, it's this, that, and the other. It can be done. Might have to play around with the formula a little bit, but it can be done. Okay, as you can see, the sausage is now done. So what I'm going to do is put it in this little 8 by 8 inch dish. Da, 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 da. Hello, doggies. Yeah, they got to be nosy and come into the kitchen. I got one that, and they were quite intrigued with that kitty we had. Gorgeous little kitty, too. Poor thing got dumped by the railroad tracks in the next town over. Beautiful blue eyes with calico coloring. I'd not seen that. Sweet cat, but the dogs did not want to leave her alone. They didn't really know what to make of her because we hadn't had a cat in the house for a while. And, yeah, she wasn't liking that too much, but I think it was the trauma, honestly, because she kept looking for her person, and that person, unfortunately, had seen her out, or at least the person that we think she owned it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. She is not here, and the dogs are back on their normal schedule. And if you all are in the local, or wherever you are, actually, if you have some extra wet food around, think of your shelter for the cats and the dogs, because the shelters are now starting to go where, at least the ones down here, are having more drop-offs now. In the beginning, shelters were empty with this, but people have settled back into more normal routines, and I'm not going to say that's a bad thing, except for the animals getting dropped off is not making me happy. But God takes care of everything. He sure does. God is good. Okay. So what I'm doing is taking this cornbread recipe and just spreading it all over the top. What I started to say there was, please, if you have extra food, in case I didn't finish this, and it's, could you remember your local shelters? Because they could use the help. Okay. This was a different cornbread recipe than I had tried, but I like it, so I think we will stick with it. All right. Okay. Voila. Now it's going to go in the oven. I'm going to say for about 30 minutes to let this cook. And I hope you all enjoy making this. If you have any questions, PM me. And like I said, the recipe came out of this book. And just with sausage on the bottom, cook it on 350 for 30 minutes, I believe. And that should do it. All right, everybody. Have a great afternoon. I look forward to hearing your comments and seeing you. Bye.